to the team page for anybody who could not make it on right now. So chapter 6 and 7, you guys, Megan and Sally and I were just saying this morning how literally we could spend an hour on just chapter 6 because the systems is so deep and so good. So if you have not read it yet and you're just jumping on, we're happy you're on, but please, please, please go back and read it yourself. It is so good, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to recap all of it in just the next 20 minutes. But kind of a general recap are the systems, the 5 systems of support. So the 5 systems that all of us have are people, activities, environment, introspection, and simplifying. And this is a huge, huge deal because anytime one or more of those systems are not operating fully and optimally, our success and peace of mind are going to be super limited. I can tell you guys, this is also a phrase that we have for this. It's called running on fumes. Or as our brilliant Sally always says, living reactively instead of proactively. Honestly, that is this book in a nutshell. It tells you how to live your life on purpose, which is why this is such a big deal. This is not a network marketing book, but it's the reason why this is now the #1 book in our industry. Because in order to be successful at a home-based business where the buck starts and ends with us, we have to learn how to do things on purpose. We can't just accidentally get to Emerald or accidentally get to Diamond. Even if you do manage to get to Ruby by flying by the seat of your pants, you're going to be miserable and burn out super quickly. So we want to help you guys live your lives on purpose, and this book is a huge part of that. So really what chapter 6 is all about is helping you actually understand each system individually, how it applies to you, and how to be intentional. Because we can all look at each other and say, yeah, how do we be intentional? We do something on purpose, but we don't know how that breaks down into each individual system in our lives. Della is actually a great example of this on the environment system. She was feeling a little bit overwhelmed after her jump to Senior Ruby. And so something that she did that was very tangible to get her systems in alignment, the environment system, so number 3, is talking about our inner environment and our outer environment. So it's the place, it's what's going on inside your heart and in your mind. And it's also talking about what's going on outside of you, where you live, where you habitat. And that would be your home, right? That would be your people. And so something tangible that Della did to bring herself peace of mind is she cleared all the crap out of her house. She had a massive yard sale this week because she was like, you know what? I've got to jump off the mental carousel. All these things around me that are constantly making me feel like I'm behind because there's piles of stuff everywhere, things I don't even need. She took that into her hands and did something proactive about it. So that is like a tangible real life example of how to get your environment systems into alignment. If that's something where you're like, excuse me, I already work 12-hour shifts and I'm doing this business and I'm having to pick up kids, I don't have time to have a yard sale, that's totally fine. You guys, you will be amazed at what people will do for $10 an hour. Put out an ad on your church community page. Find out if there's a college student who's an organizing freak. That would be my sister. My sister is a genius at organizing everything. I did not get that gene, but that is her jam. So see if there's a college student who you can pay $10 an hour to come clean out all your closets and give you an organization system. There are creative ways to do that and to get our lives into a place of peace instead of chaos. An example of the people support system is acknowledging the people in your life. So often, especially with our spouses or with our babies, we're just like, they know that I love them. Everything I do in my life revolves around them. And yet somehow, because we're always so distracted and we're trying to do 100 things at once, we are cooking dinner while also talking on the phone, while also thinking about that we only have 20 minutes to do this before we have to get out the door to go to soccer practice or church practice, whatever it is. Our brains are like this instead of acknowledging them and being direct and focused on them. So that was actually a really convicting example for me, that when somebody in my family is talking to me, I have to look directly at them so that they know my attention and my focus is on them. And that is the first part of acknowledging the people in our people systems. If the people closest to us are getting fed and taken care of, and they're getting at least some of our undivided attention, they are going to be happy. And I promise you, if they are happy because they feel like they're getting loved by you, they are never going to be bitter about this business. They're never going to say, oh my gosh, you're getting on another Zoom call, or oh my word, do you have to message that girl back right now? They're going to feel loved and valued by you, and then they're going to reciprocate that in return, and they are going to support you. If you have people in your life that are not being a supportive system for you, you need to take a moment and figure out why that is. Is the problem that they aren't getting loved and attention from you? Or is the problem that they are being ungrateful and that it's actually their mindset problem? Because it can be both. But just we want to make sure that we are doing all the healthy things on our end to make it easy for the people in our household to support us 100% while we slay. So that is a tangible example for that. This is something where I want to hear from you guys. Who are the people that you feel like support you the most? And when I say support, I don't just mean they tell you, yeah, we want you to do great, you're going to do awesome, or yes, I support you in this. Who are the people that are tangibly following up those words with action for you guys? Mary, can you hear us? There she is.
Hi. Sorry, I'm having like the worst day. I've had like 1 hour sleep. My baby's teething, and he is, I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm overwhelmed. So everything that you just said, I'm gonna put my phone down because he's got a poopy diaper, but I'm gonna talk. Okay,
that's perfect.
Okay. So full disclosure, because of the overwhelming, actually, I have no excuses. I'm on chapter 5 right now, but I wanted to jump on because I don't want to lose any momentum. I want to be, I want my head and my heart to be in it always, even when I feel overwhelmed. And so everything that actually you said Della was doing is what I've been doing. I literally just had a girl this morning come over and pick up something that I've been selling. I've been selling things left and right, seriously, because I am that person that's like, I just get in a place where I'm like, okay, I need to declutter. I need to clear my mind. So wait, that's not your question. Anyway, your question was the people in your life. So my husband, surprisingly, has been probably one of the most supportive people, along with my mom. And my husband is like wearing Plexus gear to the gym, and he's just loving the fact that I'm so excited about it, and I'm actually doing well because he has seen me start so many things and not finish them. And because I am an entrepreneur by heart, but this is the very first time that
oh, it froze real quick. We lost her for a minute. Hello, for those of you that just jumped on. Sorry, you guys, about the technical jazz. Definitely go back and watch the beginning of this because we just covered chapter 6. We're talking about our systems of support. And Mary was giving a tangible example of getting her environment systems back in alignment. That she is decluttering her home, that she had a girl come over and help her declutter and pick up things that she was going to sell or give away so that she doesn't just have those piles up in her house everywhere, making her feel like a crazy person. So that was a tangible example of the environment support that we have. Let's see. Sal, did you have anything that you wanted to share from chapter 6?
Y'all, chapter 6 is like my kick me in the face chapter because I am so easily overwhelmed and I operate terribly when I don't have systems in place, yet I am dumbly not putting systems in place in my life and following them. So just like Abby said, I'm operating out of this like running on fumes mode. And I'm like, I need to make a system for that. And then life, and there is no system still. And so this chapter is totally my love language. Like, I want to read it 12 more times. I've read it twice, and now I'm just like, okay, when I was going over it this morning, I was like, I got to do this. I got to do this to make sure I'm taking care of people. The people systems was a big one for me, is because I'm not extroverted, like just on the regular. I'm not a blue personality for sure. And so I need to be intentional and systematic about making sure I'm scheduling in time with people, making sure that people know I do care about you, and I just don't require time like that from people that I care about, but I realize that other people do, and I need to make time for people and show them that I care. I've been wanting to put something into place called like an intentional, basically an intentional hour of appreciation every week, where I'm, writing birthday cards to my family, or sending out congratulations emails, or sending gifts to our team, or whatever it is. Those things don't come naturally to me. So I need to be intentional about having a system to follow to make sure that people are being loved and taken care of in their language and tangibly, rather than me just be like, well, you should know that I love you, like, duh. Because other people need more proof than that. So that is something. Obviously I need systems in my house, and I need systems for my time and my energy and all of those things. But the people one really stood out to me, because that's something that I would not have jumped out of the page and said like, oh, I need a system for people, but for me, that's really true. I need to do that to make sure that people feel loved by me.
So good. I have to actually, when it comes to people systems, I have to make myself do one-on-one time. So I have to say, like, 2 times this week, I will go to lunch with another female in person in real life. Make myself like get out of my house and not just talk to people on the phone, but like say like, I will have face-to-face time with this person. I will pour into this person's life. So like, Sally, I'm very similar to you in that I have to like make myself focus to get that done. Okay. Goal-free zones and goal replacement surgery was chapter 7. I actually did an entire Zoom on just this one chapter. So if you are reading this chapter all by yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, this is totally me, this is wrecking me, I wish I could just camp out in chapter 7 for all my life, then go to our team page and you can just type in the secret code and it will pull up, because I did, for Jessica's team, I did a whole Zoom on this chapter. So this will just be a super quick overview of it. But this chapter, to me, if I could put it into one sentence, it's learning what fills your cup and how are you going to make sure that gets done. Because these goal-free zones are for those of us who are motivated, and we have learned that this business comes so much easier to those who work at a faster pace than those who work at a slow pace. Oh, Mary, you're fine. You're so good. We figured something happened that it disconnected. And your hat is so cute. You look great. So it's super important to learn how to fill our cups so that, like Sally said, we aren't running on fumes all the time. This is something I did not learn until very, very, very late in the game. I'm talking like Sapphire, okay? I did not learn to fill my cup until Sapphire. That was a long road to run, sometimes feeling super drained and to just keep going anyway at a super high speed. Yes, in this business, success loves speed. You will have to learn to hustle. You will have to wake, pray, slay. You will have to do all those things in order to be successful. But if you don't learn to hit that off button on purpose, you will not be able to operate on a fully revving engine when you really, really need to be. So if you are in your business and you're like, I don't know, my IPA is just a chore for me right now. I'm just so tired. I just don't have time. That is a big fat red flag that you're running on those fumes and that you haven't filled your cup. So this whole chapter, Goal-Free Zones, is saying what small free activity, if it needs to be free, if you're absolutely strapped on finances, you don't have to go get yourself a $100 massage to fill your cup. You can say, I am going to leave my babies with my husband, and I'm going to get up early this morning, and I'm going to take a 20-minute walk. Maybe you hate working out. Maybe that's not your thing, but you can get outside and take a walk for 20 minutes and use that time to not let your brain run 100 miles an hour. Goal-free zones take just as much discipline. I'm telling you guys, I learned this the hard way. Those zones take just as much discipline as it does to set a goal and hustle for it. It is hard to actually rest on purpose, to have an actual time of going, I will be quiet. I'm not going to listen to the radio right now. I'm not going to turn on Netflix right now and just be a zombie. I'm going to intentionally and on purpose rest. I'm going to use this time to pray, to ask Jesus to give me everything I need for today, to be in the Word, to be doing something that renews your mind and speaks truth to you. For you guys, that may actually be making yourself sit down to read the pages of this book and not just jump on the live videos. But actually saying, okay, this is needed. This is necessary. In order for me to do a better job of being a wife and a mommy, and in order for me to make more money, I have to first figure out how to do that the right way and do it on purpose. And this 20 minutes of silence, these 30 minutes of a goal-free zone are going to enable me to go back with a full cup and engines operating on level 100 instead of dragging our butts across the finish line. So I will tell you guys, for me, something that fills my cup, and I totally sucked at it today. I blew it. With coming back jet lagged, I have been horrible at this, but it is getting up before my kids. I have to get 20 minutes in before somebody says, Mommy, I need this. Mommy, get me breakfast. Mommy, I want to watch a show. Mommy, I need a blanket. Mommy, I want to get dressed. And it all comes that fast. I'm like, I don't even know what to do first to meet your needs right now, let alone I have 50 messages to answer from my team. And my husband is like, there's no groceries in our house. What's our plan for today? And I'm like, I can't even think a straight, coherent thought. I don't know how to do any of these things. However, that's my fault because I didn't get up and put into action my goal-free zone this morning before I hit the ground running. So that is a super tangible example of how Abby did not win today. But I can tell you guys, when I do it right, which I have been doing a lot more often than not, by getting up early before my family and saying, okay, Jesus, this is the day you've given me. What needs to be my focus today? Who on my team needs this encouragement first? Who is feeling discouraged? Who needs me to speak life into them? What potentials do I need to be following up with first? You guys, all that matters. Timing matters. But if we can't even take one hot second to think straight, we're just going to be really accumulating chaos and keeping that cycle going. In Maui, I actually was talking to Megan and Sally about a book I'm reading right now called Essentialism. And if you come to our Ruby retreat, you'll get to hear all about it because we're going to be doing some fun stuff with that book. But he was actually sharing an example of a college professor who I don't know if it was Yale or one of the biggest colleges that are out there, super hoity-toity, important people. One of those college professors realized that all of the students in the organization were being pushed to perform, pushed to make these perfect grades, pushed to graduate with 2 degrees instead of 1 and extra credits, and everything was just being pushed on them all the time. And the more things were added to these people's plates, the less time they had to actually be intentional. Their performance was statistically dropping over and over and over. And so this college professor decided to make his class a goal-free zone. For a solid 60 minutes, when the students walked into his door, they had to drop their devices. They couldn't bring their Macs. They couldn't bring their phones. Literally, they were allowed to walk in with a notebook and paper, and they were allowed to talk to each other for 1 solid hour. And he said because of his class, the productivity of those students in every other class they had started rising drastically. They were better performers. They had higher grades. They were happier. They were less depressed. They weren't running on caffeine as much. all from 60 minutes of figuring out what they were going to do with their lives that week, where they were going to put their time. They literally had those 60 minutes to figure the junk of their life out. That is a goal-free zone. That is you saying, okay, this is me deciding to live my life on purpose because I'm actually forcing myself to take the time to think about it and make a conscious decision. Because just like Noah St. John says on every other page, everything is decided in our subconscious unless we bring it to the conscious level. So if this business is not a priority for you right now and you are living your life reactively, this business is not going to just magically shove its way to the top of your to-do list. If you aren't thinking, okay, all of these things are being asked of me right now. I'm being asked to show up at a play date, be the carpool mom, pick other people's kids up from school on my way, and you're saying yes, 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 yes to all these things because you're living reactively, it's all going to crumble. I am a recovering yes person, okay? My goal in life right now is to start saying no. Not because I'm being a bee, but because my family and my business need more from me than to be a person who is running on fumes. And that requires me to live my life on purpose, to say yes to this and no to that. Otherwise, I will just live my life and we will all live our lives trying to play catch up, and that sucks. It's a really gross feeling. It's what brings all those lies to the surface that say, you are behind, you're never enough, you're failing because you've said yes to everything and everyone under the sun, and now you can't do any of it. So these chapters have both been a huge wake-up call for me every single time I've read it. It has made me more resolute and inspired me to stand firm and to live intentionally, just like Sally's saying. And the best practice, if you are somebody who's overwhelmed by that thought and going, I don't know how to implement 5 systems into my life at one time. How am I going to tackle my people system and my environment system and my activity system all at once? That very thought makes me want to go jump off of something because it's so chaotic. If that's how you feel, your best place to start is by practicing the word no. Okay? Until you say no enough times to create some space, to create some margin, and to create that goal-free zone where you can actually get some space to think and make a conscious decision instead of a subconscious or unconscious decision, you won't ever be able to implement those systems and to clean them up and get them right. So after jumping off of this call, I don't know if you guys are like me and you have something right after this or not, but I am challenging you to take 20 minutes today of a goal-free zone. And in those 20 minutes, plan your next goal-free zone and figure out how to start implementing that on a weekly basis and a daily basis to assess and go, okay, did my time and my energy go where I needed it to go today? Or did I say yes to the wrong things and no to the wrong things? If you establish a pattern of that and a habit of that, you guys, you're going to be mind blown at how actually way more productive you are. If that sounds like a waste of your time or a bad use of your time, I used to think that too, like a lot, so much so that I would have tuned out at the sentence that I just said. But I want you guys to know I learned the hard way. It is the absolute best use of your time. So you guys jump off of here, go back to your babies, go back to your lives, but make sure you get 20 minutes in of that goal-setting, goal-free zone, and you are being intentional. And then comment on the page underneath this graphic for today of what realizations you came to during those 20 minutes, where your energy needs to go, where it doesn't need to go. Basically, just what that 20 minutes did for you. All right. Love you guys.